Hey everybody, it's Kara with the She's the Owner podcast. So today I'm going to do a video of this recording as well as audio, so bear with me if there's any glitches along the way, but hopefully we'll be okay. So I've had a bit of a challenging week. I've been PMSing. Normally we call my PMS time Gwen. We've named her Gwen because that's just helpful in our family. If you can put a name to her, and then you sort of have this a different identity where you're not feeling as you're just, I don't know, it just feels like I'm attaching to this other persona that's less loving, less in her feminine, all those things, and really Ken came up with it. So although this week was kind of a shit show, I'll be honest, I think it's probably because of the stress around everything that's happening right now. And so that coupled with, a couple of things. So I'm on a thyroid medicine that I've been on for almost 18 years for hypothyroidism. And I had to adjust it. I had to increase it recently because my thyroid really dropped like really significantly. So they increased the medicine. So part of it was, I think, just adjusting to that new level. But then throw PMS in there and it was a complete fucking disaster. And I was an asshole all week. And I was really like contemplating, holy shit, did I make the right decision to move back in with him and get back together? And like it was pretty next level. And so Gwen wasn't even helping. Like if he or I tried to refer to me as Gwen, it wasn't even helping. Like it was really pretty bad. But I'm better. Today is the first day. And although I'm tired and physically I feel kind of shitty, mentally and emotionally I feel like way more like myself. So I just want to honor that. Like women, we think it's not it's not real, or it's just your hormones you can control. It's not. Like the sooner we understand this, our bodies in this way, the better, because even though in my mind I was like, this doesn't really feel like these are really my feelings, this feels like it's hormonal, I was still behaving as if it were real. And we have a rule in our family where I'm not to make any major decisions during that week, thankfully, because I've learned the hard way that even in business, like if you do something that you are doing during PMS, you could be making the wrong choice. Like how many fights have happened and how many people have been fired and people yelled at during this, during your PMS week? I bet a lot. Like if you're being honest, I feel like a lot. And so I just had to like chill and respect where I was at and not go too deep in the rabbit hole. But if Ken ever wants to come back on and talk about this week, it might be a little scary. It was bad. It was really bad. But anyway, here we are. So I wanted to talk, one of the things during this time in history, during the coronavirus, and self-isolation and quarantining and social distancing and all that kind of stuff is, it's easy to get derailed on the practices that we've been doing through panic, by panicking. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, there's definitely, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling a little bit caged. I've been reaching out to my clients for my other company, for the content company, and just making sure that everybody's okay on that side of things. Like digital marketers and people who already work from home, this is, and I can only speak to this category because I'm in it, but it feels, this is a different kind of working at home, because normally I'm able to go out and go to Starbucks or go to the mall or do some shopping or get my hair done or something where I'm able to socialize, because I'm already at home all the time. I work at home with Ken. So for me, it's starting to feel a bit, like I'm really excited about the dropping into the store to get like one item we need or something. Like that's my social life. So, this week has been, and today I've done some content around it, but this week has really been about making sure that my fellow digital marketers are okay. And same in this category, right? She's the owner. There's a lot of female founders that are at home. And I know, ladies, you're feeling it. A lot of you have kids at home now too. That's the other thing. Ken and I are really lucky in this way anyway, that of our 4 kids, 3 of them are adults, and we've only got one left in school, so we're only going to be homeschooling the one. And so to me, that feels a little bit less daunting than some of the women that I know have 2 or 3 or 4 kids at home that they have to all of a sudden be teachers for. So if you are feeling a way about any of this, please reach out. I'm here to talk to you. I'm here for Zoom call if you want to do wine online with me after work day, whatever. Just know that we're, this feels sort of, I think if you want to drop into your feminine about it and you can look at it from a perspective that it's kind of beautiful how we're all pulling together. I've seen so many videos on people in Italy or Spain, everywhere, all over the world who are, some are like, I saw a video the other day of somebody playing like ping pong or tennis across their windows to each other. It was crazy. Like people are getting really creative. They're doing workouts together on their balconies. So it's kind of nice, right? I mean, people are pulling together and that's unique in our day and age. Scary, yeah. Uncertainty driven, for sure. But also, if you want to look for what's good, you'll find it. And if you want to look for what's bad, you'll find it. So I think I'm choosing to look for what's good and stay in my feminine and look for what's good because there's a lot of good that's coming out of this. So if you need me, I'm here, basically. So a couple things I wanted to give you to chew on while we're in this weird phase of the world. So one of my practices, and I'm just holding up my journal right now, one of my practices is to write out my perfect day. And I do that anyway. I try to do it probably 2 to 3 times a week. I'm going to do it today again. And so what it does, I'll throw some music on. So, you guys know music is one of the best ways I get into my feminine energy. And so I'll put music on and I will start just to write like crazy. And I will start off the day, let me just open my journal here. So I'll do things like Dear Journal or Dear Kara, and I will just start off with, this is the day, my perfect day. And it's just one of those things where if I'm in my feminine and I'm closing my eyes and I'm writing, it tends to just put me and keep me back in flow. And then I go back and I read it maybe the next day or a week later or whatever. But so I would highly recommend if you're having trouble, because a lot of us women right now who are used to being in our masculine, it feels totally like a crisis right now. And so our instinct, our old wiring, pre-learning about our feminine energy is going to push us, some of us, like me, back into our masculine. And so yes, I'm talking about, about having my period and PMS and all that kind of stuff. But there's also a part where I wasn't feeling safe. And so he and I had to have a discussion around that. We're still working through it. But for me, if I'm not feeling like you have control, then I'm going to step up eventually because somebody needs to be in leadership during this time. And so, ladies, if you're feeling like you're starting to slip back into that masculine role in this area, I encourage you to have a conversation with your man, your partner, whoever, and say, listen, the 3 C's and the 3 U's. So just as a reminder, when a man is pushed back into his feminine, 3 things will need to happen, which is he's feeling controlled, criticized, or you're closing off from him emotionally and or physically. And so for a woman, if we're feeling unsafe, unseen, and misunderstood, we're going to go into our masculine. And so just be conscious of what's going on. For me, I wasn't feeling very safe, and I was probably not feeling as heard as I needed to be because I was sharing that I was starting to feel a little nervous and starting to feel some panic around all of this, and not liking the feeling of my freedom being like freedom to kind of go wherever I felt like. That feeling was starting to stress me out a little bit. And so just have a conversation, just be really, really open and say, here's what's happening. And then that will give him the opportunity to think, okay, how can I step up to make her feel even? Because this is kind of when these, when our men want to be the hero, make us feel like there's no imminent danger of anybody hurting us, but there's that feeling of, what's happening. And so this is a really good opportunity for the man or partner, whoever, to step up and say, okay, I'm here, I'm present, I'm hearing how you're feeling. I get that you're worried. Let's talk about it. And then I just find like once you have that conversation, um, you can, you just start to feel more into your feminine. And I completely went off track. So when I'm writing in my journal and I'm writing my perfect day, music is playing, and so communication with my husband is important. Writing in my journal, the perfect day, and go for pages and pages. Like I've done this where I've had 4 or 5 pages of like just detail it to like what color of sheets you have on your bed, what's the temperature outside, is it sunny, do you like it when it rains, like whatever that perfect day looks like for you, go crazy, you know. And the other thing that does is it will eventually call into existence the thing that you want to happen because you're living it in your mind all the time. So that's kind of my first little nugget of how to feel a little bit more grounded in your feminine around this time. The other thing, and I don't know, I'm sure I heard this somewhere, but I'm going to say it now as if I haven't, I guess, but write 3 virtual love letters. And they don't have to be romantic love letters, but pick 3 people that you're maybe close to or maybe not, or just thinking about during this time, and write them a beautiful love note. And get really in your feels about it. You know, just imagine like they're scared too. They're probably nervous. Maybe they have a business, and you know, maybe they're struggling. Maybe they're worried. I know in Canada here, I feel anyway, and I don't know what the consensus is so far, but it feels like our government is really, really handling, especially in Ontario. Say what you want about the government we have here, but they are making decisions quickly and they're not messing around. So I feel really good about how we're handling things, and that there's going to be money available for small business here in Canada to make sure that they're not completely, put out and ruined, but they're still scared. You know, I've got women that do eyelash extensions that I'm friends with, people who do hair, people who do nails that I'm friends with, and all those businesses they're scared right now. And so maybe write them a note and just say, I'm thinking about you, and just pick 3 people that you want to do it. Maybe you do that once a week. I don't know. It's totally up to you. Maybe you do it once a day. I mean, shit, you have the time. So that would be the second way I would say, finding some peace in your feminine divine. That's something that you can really get in your heart about and feel calmer. We're always calmer in our heart, right? That's the most important thing to remember through all of this, is that when we're in our heads, we're thinking of all the shit that's going to go wrong. Of course, we're going to freak out. But if you get into your heart and this is going to pass and we're going to be okay, and we're pulling together and seeing all the beauty in all this, then I think you have a better chance of feeling better about it all. And then the third thing I was thinking that might be kind of interesting is doing Zoom calls together. So I know there was a friend of mine, Kathy, and I think it was day 1. I'm calling this day 8 for us because Amelia that's our 10-year-old. She came home on Friday, or like Thursday was her last day. And so spring break started Friday. And then everything started to kind of close down around that time, and the weekend started to shift. But like Kathy and I were on a Zoom call, and we both had a glass of wine and we were cheersing it to the camera, and it was really hilarious, but it helps. So thank God I think about, if this was 20 years ago, we'd just be on the phone, which is fine too, but how cool is it that we can see each other? I know at FaceTime with my daughter in BC, she's totally bored out of her mind. She's 23. Her business is a cleaning business. It's been hit very hard, and she's really upset and freaking out. And, we've talked about some ways that she can turn that around. My daughter here as well, she's got a cleaning business. Same thing. But it's, how cool is it that I can talk to Sydney all the way from here? So, Zoom calls are a really cool way. It's free if you have under a certain amount of people on the Zoom call. There's joinme.com. There's FaceTime. You can do FaceTimes now with multiple people. But I encourage you to grab a group of girls on any night of the week or whatever. If you have a regular girls' night, call them up, get everybody on the cameras, and just hang out. That's sort of the best we have right now, which again is pretty cool. But just get together. Don't forget about those ways that you can connect with each other. And I think that's kind of it. I just, it's really important. Get outside. I went outside for a walk yesterday. It was really beautiful here in Toronto, and it's freezing like crazy right now, but it is definitely was nice yesterday. And so we took the dog, and Amelia and Ken and I went for a walk. But get outside. It's going to be warm pretty soon, so that's kind of cool. And just try to practice. And if you have any ideas that you want to share with us or with me, let me know on ways that you are staying your feminine through this crisis mode. Because, like I said, it's really easy for us women who are in these positions to slip back into the masculine and trying to figure shit out. Right now, everybody needs to just really remain calm and be with each other. And so ladies, if you need help, I'm here. Let me know. I don't want you going all the way back into your masculine, because stuck in the house with 2 alpha dogs sounds kind of shitty to me. And I'm definitely not down for that. So now that I've calmed down this week or today, we can go back to me being in my feminine and he being in his masculine. And that feels a lot better for us. So yeah, anyway, that's it for me today. I hope this was helpful to you. Of course, subscribe to the podcast. And I will upload this video on the YouTube channel. So if you want to have a look at it there, you're welcome to do that. But big love. Everybody just take a nice and deep breath. It's all going to be okay.